Hi, welcome back. You're watching, what are you watching now? I don't know what you're watching. I think I just achieved one of my biggest dreams in my entire life, and that is climbing Mount Rwenzori and reaching at the top. Reaching Margarita, which is the highest point in Uganda and in Congo. I didn't do this alone. I have a couple of friends that I have invited to answer some of the questions that you've been asking. Questions ranging from how did you prepare, how long did it take you, and where were you sleeping, where were you doing number one and number two. All those questions we shall try and answer in this video, but we're going to segment it. We have 3 episodes. So the first one is the the before, and then we have the during and the after, because there's so many questions we couldn't answer all of them in one sitting. So we're going to have sort of segment them. So welcome to the first episode of Climbing Mount Rwenzori. Of November, a group of 16 crazy Ugandans decided to summit Mount Rwenzori. Crazy because I think that you must have one loose wire for you to want to climb Mount Rwenzori and get to the top. Eh? So anyway, a group of us summited and got to the top, and it was life-changing for me. I think that was the first time that I genuinely sat down and said, Sheila, I'm proud of you. So I can't wait to share with you the experience, but to help me share that and more is, and of course we've been asked so many questions about the experience, how did we prepare, how did we, so many things. So to help me dissect all that, I'm joined by my summiters, Herbert and
Hello.
Albert. So Herbert, how was your experience?
I'd never climbed that much, and at points I had never been scared that much. I've done a bit of adventure, but this was something else. And also the beauty that you behold while you're up there. It's something different. The silence, the vegetation, the nature, it is something that is really, that needs to be seen and needs to be experienced. And especially the moment at the summit, was also another thing. Everybody should try it out at some point in time.
My experience was not to scare anyone, but it was a bit traumatic, but amazing as well. It's a lot of mixed feelings. It's getting to see the beauty of Uganda, getting to see how enormous these mountains are. There are sights that you would never even dream of. They are so amazing you can't put to words. But at the same time, the challenge of climbing, the hardship of climbing is also very, very, very trying, and it will test you to your limits. It's an amazing experience overall. If you can, you must do it. Otherwise, it's amazing. You just have to do it.
So we have our cooking here with your questions of the before. How did we prepare? How did we do all these things? So each one of us is going to take turns in answering the questions. So let's start. We have, one of the questions was, how many days did it take you, and what exercises prepared you for this? So it took me 6 days to climb to the top and 2 days to come down. So because we were 2 groups, okay, it was 1 group really, but 4 of us decided to take a rest because it was really, really strenuous, as you shall find out later on. So that's why it took 6 days. And what exercises prepared you for this? To be fair, I did not train enough as I should have. So I did 1.5 months of exercising, and it was really military drills. It was CrossFit, but very intense. Yeah, 1.5 months of intense exercising. But even then, it was still not enough for the challenge. But we're going to dissect all those things further. Yeah, so that's 6 days and what exercises? CrossFit, 1.5 months.
All right, yes. What does it take in terms of money for one to climb to the summit? First of all, the fees that you're going to pay to the guides or the Rwenzori Mountaineering Services differ depending on the service you want to take. There are expensive services which are between $1,200 and $1,500. Then there are others which you can pay between 2 million and 3 million shillings. Now these include the guides, the porters, and the food, the breakfast, the packs, for all the food that you'll be taking while you're on the mountain. Then it does not include some hire of equipment, because there are some specialized equipment that you have to hire. You have to hire crampons. Those are metallic contraptions that are attached to your boot for you to enable you to move through the snow. Harnesses, and possibly even the ice axes, because they help you move on the glaciers, and also maybe the helmets. But now that's only the amount of money that you pay to the guides. That's one bit of it. So budget between 2 million and 3 million shillings that you pay there. But you also have some money that you need to pay to the guides as tips, because they do quite a bit of a job. Then the other thing is, how much money do you need to spend on the attire? Because that's also something which is neglected. You have to buy so many things, backpacks, warm clothing, and all sorts of things. That may take you around about 1.2, 1.3 million shillings. So to be on the safe side, if you have 3.5 million shillings in terms of the fees to the mountain, and also your kit, your range of kit, that could be enough. Between 3 and 3.5 million shillings in total.
What did you do in preparation for the hike? Where did you purchase your hiking gear? Preparation for the hike. Okay, of course you have to train. I would advise you to do at least 3 months. I work out on a daily basis, at least 5 to 6 days a week. So I didn't have to add on a lot in my workout. I do a lot of jump rope, which I also put in my schedule really for mountain climbing, because it helps strengthen your calves, and you're going hiking, so you're going to need that. Apart from that, I was also doing training at least twice a week with military boot camp. For the part of the gear, we bought some from well, there are individuals who are recommended by Rwenzori Mountaineering Services. I think there's Ahmed, and then there was another person called Bernard. They have everything you need, really. Yeah, they would give you everything you need, the information, all the gear you need, and the costing. So everything started from Rwenzori Mountaineering Services. They recommended where we can buy the gear and everything. I would recommend at least 3 months of endurance training. Endurance means basically exercises where you go for long. Let's say jogging, maybe 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers. Working out for long periods, because there your body is being pushed to accommodate, or to allow you to go longer distance,
What I would really recommend, just like Albert has said, there are around about 3 body parts that are going to be critical for you. One of which, of course, is your head, your mentor. Your mentor is that you're really prepared. First of all, know what is before you. Rwenzori climbing is not a joke. It's not a joke. No, it's a big challenge. 5 days of continuous walking over rocky surfaces, ascending in boggy areas where your gumboots get stuck in the mud. You're being rained on all the time, and then you get steep ascents, and then you not forgetting the altitude sickness that you get when you start reaching areas around about 4,000 meters above sea level. Then, of course, the snow. The snow trek was also a very, very challenging aspect. So with all these, you need to be physically ready. Your chest, like Albert has said, endurance. You need to do things for a prolonged time. Most likely you've never done this. I mean, if you do this regularly, then for you, I'll just say, go now. But most likely you've never done this. Even us who exercise, we've never done it for this long. So my recommendation is that at least 3 times or 4 times a week, you either walk or run, maybe at least 10 kilometers, maybe at least 3 or 4 times.
These guys were training. That is the truth, right? I did not train as much. I trained, but I did not train as much. So my experience was terrible. if you need to climb Mount Rwenzori, please train. I don't know how I can emphasize this for you, but please train. Basing on what they've said, please train and work on your mental.
All right. Is it an activity you go any day and do, or do you have to make prior booking for the day? Yes, you have to book prior to go in there, because the porters, the guides have to make arrangements for you, just for you to be able to, so they can call the porters, they can call the guides, because those guys are not always on the mountain.
Sorry, who are the porters and who are the guides?
Okay. Now, when you go to the mountain, you obviously don't know where you're going, so you're going to get guides, people who will direct you as to which route you're taking and where you need to pass. And then there are also going to be porters. You're going to have a very heavy backpack that is going to contain most of your clothes, and it's going to be close to 20 kilograms. So you need guys to carry that for you on the mountain. So these are porters that are normally available when you get to the mountain, when you get to the base of the mountain. So you need to make a booking either through Rwenzori Mountaineering Services, or if you have direct access to the numbers of the guides. This will help you to schedule your climb and also make sure that you have facilities available to you as you climb to the different sections of the mountain.
What was in your mind? What was running through your mind the days leading to the climb?
The days leading to the climb.
Yeah.
I was very excited. I mean, it's Mount Rwenzori, it's the third highest in Africa, it's the highest in Uganda, so I was so excited. Actually, before I was just looking forward to reaching there and starting the climb. That's all that I had. I was just so excited. I wanted to reach there and start.
How long had you had the thought to climb?
I think I thought about it probably 3 to 4 months before. Yeah, 3 to 4 months before is when I thought about it. And I actually thought about it before. About 3 months back I did Muhavura, but I had thought about doing Rwenzori. So that was like a prelude. I said, let me test from here. Then now I was like, okay, I think now I can proceed.
Is there an age limit to climbing Mount Rwenzori? Do you think so?
No, I think there's no age limit. I think the most important thing is how physically able you are. You need to be in good shape. That's it. I mean, you can make it to Rwenzori at any age as long as you are in good physical shape.
What was running through my mind? I was very excited. I was looking forward. It had always been on my bucket list for a long time. I had approached, I think, the mountain slayers, but their schedules weren't rhyming with mine. So I had still lacked the opportunity to climb. So one afternoon, my friend here, Abayo, comes and says, we're climbing Mount Rwenzori next month. Was it like next month or in 2 months? In 2 months. I was like, what? I've always wanted this opportunity. So I jumped on it, but he said there's a condition, you must train. I hadn't been training for like
forever.
For like 2 years. I had not been training, honestly, like consistently. There's another question that hasn't been asked here, but I felt we should sort of touch on it. The question on mental strength versus physical strength. If I don't have the physical strength, like okay, let me be very kind to myself. I wasn't as strong as these guys because them they had been, training hard. But if I don't know, what do you need most? Mental strength or physical strength, and how do you train your mental strength?
Okay, they are not so mutually exclusive. One, I would say you need both physical and mental strength. Personally, I think you need more mental strength than physical strength. One of the reasons I talked about endurance training is endurance pushes you mentally. It pushes you to the limit. You're like, can I stop here? But you're like, no, I need to keep going. If my target was 10 kilometers, even if you're tired at 5, you have to push yourself mentally and say, no, I have to hit my target. That is part of the mental training. It's also part of the physical. They're not exclusive, Aside from that, for me, it's mainly endurance. I don't see how else to train mentally. Maybe there are certain things, but I don't know if they would apply here. Some people can tap into something in their life that that was very emotional to them, Yeah, I think everyone at one point got to that level when we were climbing the mountain, and you had to tap into probably your tragedies, your challenges in life, and you know, to get that extra energy to get you going further, to take the next step. Yeah, so that's
what did you tap into for your mental strength?
I think the mental strength is mostly about resolve, about having a target, about having an objective. Is it on my bucket list, for example? That's just something, a motivation for you to achieve regardless. For me, one of them is that challenging myself. This year, I clocked half a century. So one of the things was like, am I still able to? Can I challenge myself to say, okay, 50, you're not over the hill and done and finished, but you can do it as well. So it can be a charitable cause that you're trying to look at. It could be a personal milestone. So all those things kind of fuel your mental. But like Herbert has said, you need to have the physical. The physical always also borders on the mental. When you get to a point, when we got at some point, some people say, no, this is too much. I can't go any further, because it was really stressing to the body. And also Sheila here will tell you how her mental took over her physical. So you use both of them, but without a doubt, you need to be very well prepared physically.
Do you use public transports? Do you use private means? What happens?
I think it's really up to you. We used private means. It's really up to you if you want to use private or public means.
If you have a group of people that you're going to climb with, you go with a group of people, especially those you know. Okay, you might know them there, but the groups help you. They encourage you. There's some camaraderie. They give you encouraging words. So my recommendation is that if you have a group of friends, then it is best that you go as a group of friends, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, because you'll keep on motivating each other. Going alone is still possible, but again, it's a little bit lonely, so it requires a little bit greater resolve. But if you can go in a group, it would be nice.
All right, so for the first episode, that's all we got time for. Thank you so much for your questions. If there are any other questions that you have, you can leave them in the comment section down below, and I'll be able to answer some of them if I can. And if these are not the answers you're looking for, I hope that you can actually go ahead and search, because I'm sure there's a lot of literature around climbing Mount Rwenzori. But for now, have a good day, goodbye, good night, wherever you are watching us. And hopefully you can join us next week for our second episode on climbing Mount Rwenzori, where we shall be discussing the during. What exactly happens? Do you have where to sleep, or do you just walk like zombies for the 6 days that you're on the mountain? I hope you can join us. Bye.